Good morning, dear students. In this session of e-commerce, we will discuss on security. The security refers to the act by which the transactions are done safely and with much ease. It should be integral, non-repudiation, authentic, and confidential too. Integrity. What is referred as integral? Integrity refers to the ability to ensure that information being displayed on a website or transmitted or received over the internet has not been altered in any way by an unauthorized party. So whatever is appearing, that is in original way and in a continuous mode. Non-repudiation. Non-repudiation refers to the ability to ensure that e-commerce participants do not deny their online action. Means if someone access and complies of queries that are definitely replied. Authenticity. Authenticity refers to the ability to identify the identity of a person or entity with whom the dealing is being performed. And confidentiality. Confidentiality refers to the ability to ensure that messages and data are available only to those who are authorized to view them. Confidentiality is also sometimes called privacy. So, privacy refers to the ability to ensure the use of information about oneself. It should not be disclosed among others. In addition to aforesaid issues, the availability of the internet, which ensures that an e-commerce site continues to function as intended, should be maintained. Threats. There are various threats which are enlisted here on the screen. The number one, hacking and cyber vandalism. आप सब लोग हैकिंग की बात जानते हो और साइबर वेंडलिज्म यानी कि साइबर स्पेस में कुछ गलत काम. Here, hacker is an individual who intends to gain unauthorized access to a computer system, and the process is termed as hacking. Here, it also required to know crackers are also used in the term of hacker and hacking process. So, cracker is the term typically used within the hacking community to demote a hacker with criminal intents. And cyber vandalism is intentionally disrupting, defacing, or even destroying a site. Here we should know that white hats, black hats, and grey hats. There are three types of hackers. The white hat hackers are good hackers that help organizations to locate and fix security flaws. Uh, and black hat hackers are who act with the intention of causing harm. The grey hat hackers are who believe they are pursuing some greater betterment by breaking and revealing system flaws. So, the first one, that is hacking and cyber vandalism. The next one is spoofing. Spoofing always occurs as misrepresentation of oneself by using fake addresses or masquerading as someone else is known as spoofing. The another one, that is sniffing, a type of eavesdropping program that monitors information traveling over a network, is termed as sniffing. In an organization, inside jobs in which employees with access to sensitive information, having sloppy internal security procedures, and provide ability to roam throughout an organization system without leaving a trace. And also another cause like malicious code, which includes a variety of threats such as viruses, bad applets, etc. And one more, that is phishing, is the attempt to acquire sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details by masquerading as a trustworthy, अपने आप को ओरिजिनल बताना, that is masquerading, entity and trustworthy entity in an electronic communication. Phishing emails may contain links to websites that are infected with malware. Phishing is typically carried out by email spoofing or instant messaging, and it often directs users to enter details at a fake website whose look and feel are almost identical to the legitimate one. The next threats by which the image of a website destroys is credit card frauds. As we all know, the most of the payments are done by credit cards, which differentiate it from traditional commerce, and hackers target files on merchant server. So this should be taken care. And the next is denial of service attack. It is also a threat for failure of a e-commerce website. Flooding of a website with useless traffic to inundate and overwhelm the network. जरूरत से ज्यादा ट्रैफिक रहने पर एक्सेसिंग में परेशानी होती है. और denial of service message appears. Distributed denial of service attack uses numerous computers to attack the target network from numerous launch points. This is also another reason. So now we should consider that how we can overcome ourselves, I mean our websites, from these threats. So security measures. What security measures are taken to overcome this? Following measures are implemented to avoid the threats. Encryption. The process of transforming plain text or data into cipher text that cannot be read by anyone outside of the sender and the receiver. The purpose of encryption is to secure information during storage and transmission. The another way, that is installation of firewalls. But prior to that, we take a look on digital certificate. Since installation of firewalls, and firewalls requires a lot of technologies. We will discuss it in detail in succeeding slides. Digital certificate. It is a good document issued by a certification authority that contains the name of subject or company, the subject's public key, a digital certificate, serial number and expiration date, the digital signature of the certification authority and other identification informations. The biometric authorization. Biometric is the study of measurable biological or physical characteristics that can be used for access controls to unauthorized users. So, in brief, we discussed all this, and just I like to define the firewalls. Firewall consists of software applications that act as a filter between companies' private network and the internet itself. In succeeding slides, I am coming to the firewalls. The tools and technologies to safeguard the e-commerce sites. The most important is firewall. Immediately I told you, firewalls prevent unauthorized usage from accessing a network when it is linked into the internet. Intrusion detection system. Look at the screen. Intrusion detection systems monitor networks from spurious network traffics and attempt to access corporate systems. Passwords, tokens, smart cards and biometric authentications are used to authenticate system users. Antivirus software checks computer systems for infection by viruses and worms and often eliminates the malicious software, while anti-spyware are software combats intrusive and harmful software paradigm. A firewall insulates a private network from a public network using carefully established control on the types of requests they will route through to the private network for processing and fulfillment. Please give on the screen how firewalls are installed and how it insulate the public networks, I mean private networks from a public network. For example, an HTTP request for a public web page will be honored, whereas an FTP request to a host behind the firewall may be dishonored. Firewalls typically run monitoring software to detect and thwart external attacks on the site and are needed to protect internal corporate networks. Firewall appear primarily in two types: application level gateways and proxy servers. The other uses of firewalls include technologies such as virtual private networks, in short VPN, that uses the internet to tunnel private traffic without the fear of exposure. Unauthorized accessing are prohibited. Physically, a firewall comprises one or more host systems and routers, as you are seeing in the screen, plus other security measures such as advanced authentication in place of static passwords. Just we talked about biometric authentication. Different components includes filters or screens that block transmissions of certain classes of traffic, and a gateway, which is a machine or set of machines relying services between the internal and external networks by means of proxy applications. The intermediate area occupied by gateway we often refer to as the demilitarized zone. In short, it is called DMZ. Please give a look on the screen. The entire cheese is depicted pictorially on the screen. When we say that all traffic from inside to outside and vice versa must pass through a firewall, we refer to data transported by the TCP/IP protocol suite. As in the figure on screen, it is illustrated with a diagram of TCP/IP showing the way the protocol is layered and the manner in which addresses are used. To control TCP/IP traffic, one must gain a solid understanding of how it is structured. You all know that protocols are a formal description of messages to be exchanged and rules to be followed in order for two or more systems to exchange information in a manner that both parties will have to understood. So, you saw that how a firewall are installed in our network to protect the systems connected to the network. The next way, the next method which we use, that is cryptography. In cryptography, encryption is the process of coding and scrambling message or information in such a way that only authorized parties can read it, are widely used technology for securing electronic transmission over unprotected networks. In an encryption scheme, the message or information referred to as plain text is encrypted using an encryption algorithm generating cipher text. Can only be read if decrypted. The codes which are encrypted can't be read directly. To read and understood, it should be decrypted. For technical reasons, an encryption scheme usually uses a pseudo-random encryption key generated by an algorithm. An authorized recipient can easily decrypt the message with the key provided by the originator to recipients but not to unauthorized interceptors. Digital certificate combined with public key encryption provide further protection of electronic transaction by authenticating a user identity. Companies can use fault-tolerant computer system or create high availability computing environments to make sure that their information systems are always available. Use of software metrics and rigorous software testing helps and improve software quality. So, in this session, we discussed all about the security of a e-commerce website in which we taken consideration that from where we have threats, yani threat points, and the measures to mitigate or avoid these threats, taken consideration of various measures in which technically the installation of firewall plays a vital role. So this is all about our security of e-commerce websites, and with new topics of e-commerce we will meet in our next session. Thank you.